Welcome to English Podcast New. Learn and have fun together. Today, we're going to learn something new while having fun with each other. Today, we have Irfan, Anggun, Elsa, and of course, me, Windari, to talk about an article by Rodney H. Jones about Beyond Listen and Repeat, Pronunciation, Teaching Materials, and Theories of Second Language Acquisition.
In the past 50 years, pronunciation teaching in language education experienced shifts, initially disregarded, then emphasized with methods like the direct method, but sidelined again with communicative language teaching, CLT. Recently, renewed interest stems from recognizing the communicative role of suprasegmental features. Despite this, current materials often rely on outdated methods, lacking communicative effectiveness. Research into second language phonology introduces broader factors, such as cognitive development and sociological conditions, influencing pronunciation acquisition. The paper explores how these insights can reshape commercial pronunciation materials. Over the past 5 decades, there has been a pronounced shift in pronunciation teaching, moving from a focus on precise sounds to a more communicative approach. However, many commercial materials still adhere to behaviorist concepts, relying on drills and comparisons between first and second language sound systems. This paper explores recent research on second language phonology and assesses its impact on current materials, suggesting recommendations for future materials that encompass communicative, psychological, and sociological dimensions of pronunciation.
The debate on teaching pronunciation centers on 2 arguments, one based on the critical period hypothesis, suggesting adults struggle with native-like pronunciation, and the other asserting natural acquisition with limited impact from formal instruction. Studies show varied results, indicating age-related preferences for teaching approaches. The second argument underscores the role of motivation and exposure, acknowledging the influence of teachers and classrooms. Effective pronunciation teaching, therefore, necessitates a nuanced approach, considering age, learning strategies, and diverse influences, emphasizing the importance of motivation and exposure for success. The next one we have the traditional listen and repeat method, rooted in elocution exercises and behaviorism, has persisted in pronunciation teaching despite its limitations. While emphasizing habit formation and the importance of both perception and production, recent research highlights the need to go beyond controlled practice. The debate on whether perception or production precedes increased accuracy remains central, with studies suggesting a two-way street where focused listening improves oral production and vice versa. To enhance effectiveness, pronunciation drills should evolve towards more meaningful, communicative practices, integrating various modalities like visual and kinesthetic elements. The key lies in moving beyond decontextualized sound contrasts towards perceiving communicative characteristics and integrating sounds into effective communication, materials that integrate perception and production as equal components, incorporating diverse modalities, represent a more comprehensive and dynamic approach to pronunciation training.
Next, we have interlanguage phonology. Passages on interlanguage phonology often oversimplify issues faced by speakers of a specific native language, isolating sounds and contrasts from natural speech flow and neglecting suprasegmental features. Recent approaches move beyond contrastive analysis, adopting sophisticated theories like equivalence classification. Research by Mackin and Ferguson, 1987, reveals parallels between phonological processes in first and second language acquisition, suggesting active engagement in building a phonological system. Overgeneralization and experimentation episodes highlight the dynamic nature of constructing a second language phonological system. Yet another theory incorporating the monitor model, as suggested by Bialystok, posits a more porous boundary between learned and acquired systems through which Information stored in explicit linguistic knowledge can become automatic and transferred to implicit linguistic knowledge after continuous use through monitoring. Crawford, 1987, p. 1994, found that students who were previously exposed to phonological rules and principles, although not necessarily producing more accurate pronunciations, appeared to be better equipped to assess their own speech and more aware of their particular pronunciation problems.
Few materials incorporate a communicative dimension. Some organize courses based on discourse functions, while others introduce phonological information gaps. Poetry, songs, and natural context for target sounds have been used. However, many activities still resemble drilling and lack genuine communication, such as dialogue reading or questionnaire completion. Most materials lack opportunities for freer practice in discourse situations with suprasegmental features. Bridging the gap between pronunciation and communication can motivate learners, making pronunciation a valuable tool for effective language use beyond mere intelligibility. There are two overlooked aspects of pronunciation teaching: the psychological and sociological dimensions. It suggests that how one speaks is influenced by their desire to fit into a particular social or cultural context. Learners who identify with native speakers tend to sound more like them, while those retaining their cultural identity may keep a foreign accent intentionally or unintentionally. The passage also emphasizes the importance of considering an individual's values, attitudes, and sociocultural background in pronunciation teaching. Additionally, it discusses how an individual's personality and emotional state can affect their pronunciation and how pronunciation training can have a psychological aspect. Finally, it points out that learners' reasons for learning a second language and their intended use of the language can impact their pronunciation goals. The passage also mentions attempts to personalize pronunciation teaching materials to cater to learners with different needs, personalities, and backgrounds, including the use of questionnaires and activities for self-reflection and self-assessment.
In the future, pronunciation teaching materials are expected to undergo significant improvements. Anticipated changes include a greater focus on socio-linguistic and political aspects, addressing psychological factors, reconsidering the order of presenting phonological principles, adapting to changes in ESL dynamics, emphasizing diverse listening tasks, maintaining explicit rule teaching, and integrating pronunciation seamlessly with other language skills. In conclusion, these changes reflect an evolving understanding of pronunciation teaching, aiming to better cater to the diverse and dynamic needs of language learners while aligning more closely with research findings in second language acquisition.
All right, so that's all for today's podcast. I hope that today's podcast will give you a greater insight into the article written by Rodney H. Jones about pronunciation teaching materials and theories of second language acquisition. See you on the next podcast. Cheer and goodbye.